Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Retronix podcast, the podcast that topples your TBR. Today, I'm talking about 10 tips to help you read more this year. I know we're like almost summertime, but you know what? It's never too late to start reading more. I know it's looking for ways to improve that. I'm to tell you, this year has been interesting about my reading life because I've been struggling. In some ways, it's been nice to listen to audiobooks, and I'll talk about that tip, but the reality is that I haven't picked up my Kindle. After 2,000 and something days of reading every single day for at least 15 minutes, I stopped my Kindle reading. And it's been liberating in some ways because for a while it's felt like a chore and it felt like it's something that I have to do. And it wasn't giving me the amount of joy that it did. I really have been struggling with ever since the elections. It's been really terrifying to be. I've been doom scrolling. I've been just so anxious and just not feeling myself. And so it's been hard to escape from the reality. It's been hard to escape to romance where things are great. So I've been actually reading a lot of mysteries, a lot of, people unaliving themselves and all these different things and just having this like thrillers, popcorn thriller, domestic suspense, cozy mysteries, Mr. rom-coms to have some sort of another bloody part because the romance doesn't feel like it's just the right time. And that's just where I am. I have been reading some mafia romances because you know what? Sometimes we just need morally great heroes and that they'll do the thing that you don't want to do. Morally great heroes have been great, but for the most part, rom-coms has just been a struggle. So let's get to the 10 tips to help you read more this year. Let's talk about the first tip. The first tip is to set realistic reading goals. So you want to start small. Instead of aiming for 50, 100, 300, a book a day, just aim for a manageable, like one book a month or a couple books a month or just one book a week and just keep something that's manageable. I think it's important just keep them simple and just do them. And if you meet that goal early in the year, then you just up it up. But you don't have to start with a big goal. I think if you listen to previous episodes where I'm linking to this episode. If you listen to previous episodes where I share my reading goals, I was like gung ho that I need to read a book a day, that I need to actually consume as much as possible because I have like a lot of books to read and I have a huge TBR option. And it just became too overwhelming. So I really continue to fail. And every year I read less and less. And so I have to take into account the life happens that things happen, whether it's outside of my control or like personal issues, and that may take time away from reading. And so it is okay to read less and to set realistic goals is the big one. Start small, start with one book a week or one book a month, and then you just build it out, build a standing up from there. If you have a great reading month, celebrate that. But if you don't, that's okay too. You're still on your track to do it. The next tip that I want to share is to read a daily reading routine. So for a while, I had the 15-minute reading routine in my Kindle. So basically, I will read in my Kindle for 15 minutes and I'll track it as a Kindle day streak. And I was very proud of that, where I was like, 2,000 days I read. I may not have read 2,000 books, but I was reading consistently for 15 minutes. And so creating a daily routine may mean to wake up in the morning and reading for 10, 15 minutes, or it might just mean listening to the audiobook while you're driving to the commute and having those spaces. Right now, one of the areas where I'm loving because I just got a car is listening to audiobooks. Listen to Audible library top audiobooks because they're connected to my phone. And it's just been lovely just to catch up with a lot of Kindle Limited, a lot of books I've bought with Zelle. And it's just been fun just to do that. So having something to look forward, not just driving, but just having this place where like I get to listen to my book. I get to listen to a sweaty romance in the car. It feels like fun. So set a creative daily reading routine will be key to help you grow. Figure out what works for you. Figure out if it's in the morning, nighttime, before I go to bed. I also listen to audiobooks before going to bed. I listen to mysteries, cozy mysteries actually, which are not so triggering and they don't create nightmares. They create kind of like pleasant dreams because you're just like imagining yourself in the cute cozy dream, cozy stuff. So what I do is I put the audiobook, set it for a timer for 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how much I fall asleep. And then I just fall asleep listening to it. And a lot of times, cozy mysteries, you don't really miss the plot. So it's not a big deal if you miss something. There's no clues. Like there really are no clues and stuff like that. You're just surprised. So create a daily reading routine for you that will work. Think about it, take stock of your time, take stock of your energy, take stock of what will give you joy, and do that. And you'll be able to read consistently. Okay, tip number 3 is always carry a book. So I carry my book. I I actually just I used to do this all the time, and I did this when I was a child. 90s, my parents used to travel a lot, whether it's to New York to buy merchandise or to Disney World to just enjoy like different things. And I was like, I always look forward to going traveling to the US because I get to go to Barnes and Noble and stuff on my books. Because the bookstores in Puerto Rico were they were available. They had some teenage books, but a lot of it was Steve Valley High and specific like major popular lines for teenagers, but I wanted to read some of the niche ones like the love stories, the Leonard McDaniels, all the stuff that is hidden in the 90s. And so I used to look forward to just buying a bunch of books and always carrying the book. So I was known to be in Disney World in a line and reading. That was what entertainment. And I continued to do this over time. I used to read in the subway, and it was like a fun way to connect with other people. Even though we don't talk to each other in the subway, it was like great to get recommendations. So reading in subway, and then after that, after the Kindle was available, I actually started reading on my phone when I was working at a job that I needed to pretend that I was working. So I was reading on my phone, and then I upgraded to Kindle Paperwhite at a time, and it was great. And always, ever since then, I've been carrying a book. I always miss the book, and so places where I carry, I either bring my iPad and make my audiobooks available, to my audiobooks, or you can have them on your phone and audiobooks available, or you can have a Kindle and you read like a couple pages here and there. All this little reading, it always adds up. So carry a book with you. It makes it much more enjoyable. I also now love going shopping and listening to audiobook. Like, I went to Costco this past weekend, and I went on Saturday morning, which, it's crowded, and it was, like, such a pleasant experience listening to my mafia romance. I was so engaged. Like, the book was so good, and I was like, "I can't stop watching I can't stop listening to this," and while I was shopping. So it's always great to be able to listen to a book, so if you have an option, listen to your books and just enjoy them and make your life much more pleasant. So the tip number 4 is swap screen time for bedtime. And I think it's less TV now, it's more phone time. So swap the phone time, swap the Instagram, the TikTok, the scrolling into a little bit of more reading. And so a way to do this, and I'm really struggling with this right now because I want to be informed, but at the same time, it's so devastating. So what I've been doing is like swapping it up for an audiobook time where I scroll through Libby and look for book shopping. I love doing book shopping in Libby because it's free. It's free. I can just click lids and I just, I don't even request the books. I just have my Libby has so many tags and so many places where I'm like, okay, I want this book, and I have like different mood readings. I would tell you most of these tags are eventually gonna become podcast episodes because I just can't stop making tags. But that's been, like, such a way to feel the scrolling, but at the same time, having it in a place where it's actually healthier than looking for doom scrolling. So, find a way that you can actually do something that replaces that screen time, like, whether it's reading a book and you're excited about it, and don't worry about what kind of literature it is, just read the book. If you're actually looking for a place where, I just need to listen to a book and just enjoy it and, like, maybe do some window shopping, then do window shopping. You don't have to take the action, but at least it helps you replace the screen time, the doom scrolling into the book time. So I have to tell you, tip number 5, I've been talking about it already, but audiobooks are the gift that keeps on giving. If you're new to audiobooks, actually just start with just like a nonfiction or rereading. Those are books that you don't feel like you have to pay attention and you can actually, what the story looks like. Nonfiction is great. Memoirs, like celebrity memoirs, are a great start. Jessica Simpson's a great start. I think Matthew McConaughey, I've heard great things about his memoir. So they're actually authors wrote like the celebrities read the audiobook, and so you get to just listen to a story. Another way to listen to audiobooks, like maybe introduction, if you're like some romantic scenes of fantasy, I would say check for the graphic audios. They're kind of like a movie in your ear. So there's sound effects, there's like emotions and stuff like that. It helps you get in a place. So audiobooks are a great place to get started. If you're new to audio, if you're actually a little bit more seasoned to audiobook, try to just like encourage the speed limit, like the reading speed to go up. If you want to finish the story a little bit quicker or try like different genres that you want to try out. I love cozy mystery audios for nighttime listening because it sounds like a bedtime story. So cozy mystery audios are perfect. I love pop culture nonfiction. I really love listening about oral histories about TV shows and movies and specific things and like actually like oral histories about companies. There's like actually a Spotify audiobook that I really want to listen to. And I do own it. 'Cause I'm gonna buff that up and tell you all about it. But that's actually like things you do. So audiobooks are a great place to get started. You can listen to them in the car. You can listen to them when you're in line. You just put your headphones on and just listen online, and it makes much life much more interesting. You're just like it's just to help you. You can listen to them to cleaning, like multitasking. If you want to deep clean and declutter your house, because it's spring cleaning, this is another way for you to listen to your audiobooks, and it makes them much more enjoyable. All right, I have to tell you, I'm the library girl. So tip number 6 is join the library ebook service. I cannot tell you enough. Libraries are your best friend. Libraries under fire. Libraries are funding is taken away. So the best way to support your library is by getting a library card. You can go to your local library. You can get a library card. You can actually borrow books for free. They have physical books. If you're a physical book girly, you can request your physical books. A lot of times those physical books come fairly quickly. If you're actually like a lot of books are like new releases and you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars because books are expensive, you can request them from the library beforehand. If your library doesn't own it, they can request that you buy the book. And chances are you'll get the first in line to get that book. A lot of times you request the books before they come out. You're gonna get them the publication day. They are available. I've done this for library systems like near public library where there's a lot of competition. I cannot tell you how many times I read publication day books. So it takes an effort, but it's just fun. And it's book shopping for free. So library cards are great. If your library card, if you have ebooks and you don't like the Libby wait times, there are non-written library cards you can pick. And if you want to go to my Substack, I do have reviews of those library cards. I'm actually reviewing a new library card that I just borrowed, but I will tell you when library cards are perfect for you, whether you're a cozy mystery reader, whether you're a romance reader, whether you're actually like looking for new releases or audiobooks. I do tell you which ones are worth the time. So library cards are amazing. They do audiobooks. They also have services like access to the New York Times subscription, Wall Street Journal. You can get them for free. You can actually have access to things that you might need, like cameras, podcast studios, seats, board games. Libraries are amazing service and they're third places. So if you want a place to work or get out of the house for a little bit and just want to like just sit and journal or just like stare at their books, libraries are a great place. They won't kick you out. There's a great place. They have computers, they have Wi-Fi, they have so many services. So it's a great place. It's free. You pay for it in your state taxes and your community taxes. This is part of what you pay for. And so you might as well, if you find a library card that you actually want to pay for, like you can become friends with the library, you can get a mobile library board. It's a great place to support the community. And I cannot tell you enough, libraries are your best friend. So join the library. Get yourself a library card. This is my actually old school. This just came out fall 2018. Library card from New York Pro Library. It was like special edition and it says knowledge is power. I actually, every time I'm reaching new place, I get myself a library card. Like it didn't matter. It's the reason why I got a Florida state license because I needed to get a Hillsborough, my county library card. And I was like, well, I need to show that I'm a resident. So I got my driver's license. So they were like, okay, yes, you can give yourself a library card. If you're also like suggestions, if you want to accumulate more library cards because you're a reader, you want to talk to your parents. If your parents live in a different county, different state, talk to them and get them help and ask them to get a library card and maybe share that library card with them. That helps them, like, they're paying for access, there's things like that, stuff like that. So other ways you can do it. So I encourage you to join a library, support, get a library card, and just support that. And you don't have to spend thousands of dollars in books. You can just save those books that you want to buy for your trophy shelf and not just for the sake of having an overwhelming TBR list that you just won't get to. All right. So tip number 7 is abandon books that don't bring you joy. All right. This is like a big one. You kind of have to DNF. I hate to say this to you. And it doesn't mean that you're going to DNF forever. It just means like right now, like the book, it doesn't bring you joy. You can put soft DNF, which means you put them down, you read a couple chapters. This is something I do typically a lot of times because I do get sent a lot. and I put a little chapters, and then I might pick it up later on in a different format, a different mood. Other times the book is so bad, I just need to DNF it. And let me tell you why I DNF'd it. I actually do podcasts. I've been doing a couple podcasts in the Substack about this, about books that I DNF. So if you want to get those podcasts, go to the Substack, what to read next blog/newsletter, and it'll take you to the Substack. DNF the book if it doesn't spark joy. Like just the Americano. Like it is okay. It doesn't matter. Books are subjective. Sometimes you might be in the right mood. You might be the right person. You might not be the right person. And it is okay. Actually, that's the point of if you read a lot of books, you're going to start figuring out what kind of type of books work for you. Are you a character-driven person? Are you a plot-driven person? Do you like fantasy? Do you like world building? Do you like romantic comedies? Do you like small town? Do you like sports? Do you like bad writing? Do you like literary fiction? Do you like beautiful writing? The only way you find out is by actually trying a bunch of books and then trying to figure out what works for you. And what doesn't work for you, put it down. Put it down. Yeah. All right. This is what tip number 8 is one of my favorite tips to do, especially at the end of the year where you're like trying to grab my reading goals, and is read shorter books or novellas. I love a short read. I love like a 2-hour short read in the morning. I have a friend who writes those books for me, and I love this. I love this for her. They'll be published, by the way. I'm beta reading it. And I love this because every Saturday morning, like Saturday morning a month, I sit down and I read her novella. It's 80 pages. And it's just great. It's a good time. And I'm like, I feel like I accomplished something because I finished a book. Novellas are great. Short books are great. Also, short audios are great because you feel like you accomplished something. It keeps you company. You get the whole story. Novellas don't need too many because novellas, you're like, oh, I'm missing part of the story. But sometimes you don't need the story. Another area, if you're a romance reader and you want to just get the right kind of tropes and the right kind of like romance, category romance. They're less than 200 pages. They don't have all the fluff. All the B plot is mainly the two couples actually having a relationship, and it's great. It's a great introduction. And category romance have like different lines, like romantic suspense. They have rom-com. You can go back to old lines. They have muddy romances. They have rom-coms. They have actually billionaire. They have like over the top romances. And so there's category for everything. So I would just suggest checking category romance as another way to add them on. You should be able to get them from the library a lot of times because a lot of times they're out of print, but the library will have them. Or you can buy the ebooks on Kindle Unlimited. Sometimes they come in a group of $3, so you get to just give it a try. But those are like read shorter books, read novellas, read short forms. They're great power cleansers. If you're reading something really triggering or really heavy, short novella can get you out of the mood and it just prevents your reading slump. So that's tip number 8. Read shorter books and novellas. All right. Tip number 9 is join a book club or reading community. There's plenty of reading communities. If you want to find a reading community, I do have one, What to Read Next blog. We do have the newsletter. There's a chat. There's ways for you to connect with each other. But there's book clubs. Actually join. I'm not newish. I've been in Tampa for about 3 years. But I finally got a card, so I'm actually trying to meet local friends. And I joined at this Tampa Book Club, which they do some wellness activities, like, we're going to go to yoga, we're going to go to Pilates. And they do have a party and they do reading gatherings. And so I get to a great place to meet other people who are like-minded, who like similar books, and you get to know other readers. Other places you can look for reader communities are Instagram. There's live influencers that have podcast channels that you can join. Substack is a great place to find reading communities. My friend Amy and Sarah have the Spice and Spoon Club, Romance Club on Substack, and it's great. I love attending. I used to be co-host. I just took a step aside, but I still go to the meetings. I love talking to them and talking to our group book club readers and just having a conversation about books. Book clubs, and you don't have to. I am the person that I don't like to read on a schedule, so I may not read the book. And I'm okay with spoilers, but I love the conversation. I love connecting with other readers. I love talking about what works, but didn't work. And so it's a great place to connect with other readers and have a conversation. I have plenty of friends who don't read the same books that I read, and I'm okay with that. And that's okay. It's a great place, and I can give, feedback, and if they're looking for recommendations, I can know somebody else who can give you the recommendation that you are. It's a great place to talk to other readers, find readers, local community. If you're on Disney, there's actually a Disney book club. There's a book club that goes to Disney, goes to the resorts, and they read. They have a readathon. It's called the Main Street Book Club. And they just did a readathon where they traveled to 2 parks. They just took some ride, they sat down, they read some books. That's not like my kind of people. And then they spend watching the fireworks from the hotel, and it's great. So, yes, if you're a Disney community, definitely do that. If you're in Florida, there's Disney, there's, like, different book clubs. So, look for a good local club. If you don't know anyone in your community, look for community started at who may be open to our root club. Back in Hoboken, when I was living in New Jersey, I was part of the Bart Method class, and they had a book club. They had a little free library in the studio, the owners, and they hosted like a class. And after that, you just meet after everyone brought a padlock of like food, and we'll just talk about books. And it was great connecting with the fitness community and the book club community. So it was like the marriage of both worlds. So if you're part of a local studio, like a yoga studio or bar studio or Pilates studio, you can just talk to owners and see, will you be open to do this kind of community gathering, just host a space. And maybe some of the people will be interested to do that. So just opportunities, think outside the box. There is definitely social clubs that are popping up, so try to look for those. But I really have to say the Tampa Set Book Club, they actually have chapters in other, I think Dallas, I think it is, or Houston, in other cities. But if you're actually looking for a new chapter and you can actually build it in, it's a great book club. And I'm in my 40s, and most of the girls are 20s and 30s, and it's totally fine. So if you're looking for, fun, chilly, that's kind of like good. Finally, make reading fun again. I cannot say this enough. Make reading fun. Like, it's you that's all reward. Like, just have fun with this. This is not a job. I actually have a job for reading, and I can tell you, it is not as appealing as just when it was like when I was just a reader. I did not have to create content. I did not have to have a podcast and talk about books. It was just as much fun there. It was actually much more fun as a reader than actually as a content creator. So reading is fun. I'm falling in love with reading again. You know how I'm falling in love with reading again? By picking up books that I want to read and not having, you have to read this book or you have to, or everyone's talking about this book. I learned very quickly that all influencers typing the same book was actually something that hurt me and didn't help me. I love discovering the authors. I love reading debuts. I love trying different places. I love finding hidden gems. And that's my thing. Find your thing and go for it and own it. So make reading fun again, whatever that's going to look like. If you want to read some smutty romances while driving in the car pickup line or pool pickup line, do it. If you want to have some cozy mysteries, bedtime stories, because you know what? It's not just nice somebody else to tell the story for you. Do it. Do the thing that feels like fun. So those are my tips to make reading much more enjoyable and read more so you can read more books. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a great day.